allow the children. It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. She off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo. Man of the masses, my ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary my ego la wamo la moto do. My ego diary, Ayekun làwa mọ̀ làwọn tó dòdòdò. Ayekun diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Ayekun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Ayekun diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Ayekun diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Máyégún já wa sí. Ayekun diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Máyégún diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí. Máyégún diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Máyégún diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Máyégún diary politico. Máyégún diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún. Máyégún diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Máyégún diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Máyégún diary na ibi nọ́mbà one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Máyégún ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Máyégún ti dé. Àní àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Máyégún ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn lájú.
Today. Hello there. So, good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Mayegun Live. So, thank you so much for joining me. As usual, please, after reading the caption of the broadcast, read the description as well. Then, like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends too. Tell them all that Mayegun today and Mayegun is live. Thank you. So tonight, which also should serve as our Sunday sermon. I don't think I should repeat myself what that means. But in the long run, right? If you are a newcomer on Mayegun's Diary Political, don't worry, you will catch up. Okay. So today we are starting with the latest outburst. That is also a bit of, historical kind of conspiracies too. And that is the statement from Sule Lamido, the former governor of Jigawa. Now, Sule Lamido, who is a PDP, stalwart, is also considered as one of their stronger pillars in PDP. So they are talking about 2027, and he said a lot, okay? But we have picked about 2 or 3 from what he said, just to kind of like rejig, our understanding of the character that thiefnubu is. Thiefnubu is the only politician in the whole wide world that has no siblings, like blood for real. He has no father. He's got no mom, but he's got an adopted mom. He is also the guy who graduated from a school before they even established the school at all. He's also the guy, who went to Chicago State University of Chicago. But from the file they have made public now, from the FBI file, it is also this same thiefnubu that went in as Bola, as a girl. Then he graduated as a man, kind of. It is this same thiefnubu. So he's a man that is, mysterious, right? And somehow that seems to be what attracted the sewage dwellers in that contraption and criminals alike to him, because to them, we don't get papa, we don't get mama, we don't get anything at all that anybody can trace to anywhere. He's the president of Nigeria today, right? But there is a sort of like a repeated stories which these guys have been, they bring behind. When we were growing up, there were so many kind of lies, propagandas that we were fed. And it is because the adults of that era, they were at the same time, politically biased, or maybe they were made to be, or conditioned to become that way, right? And the likes of thiefnubu and their gang, they really, they rode on that. Built media empire on it, political empire on these same lies. And every attempt to try to expose anything around thiefnubu is always met with resistance from people that are believed to be the beneficiaries of his benevolence, that is a Koolu. So his presented as, pro-democracy individual. Just that when Babangida was doing his transition in 1990, postponing and postponing, so there was a time that Babangida experimented, God knows what that kind of government was called, right? But it was a government, headed by a military, president. First, he changed his title from head of state to president. That's Babangida. Then, in that same Babangida time, right, it was the president, military, and the civilians were the state governors. He also had a National Assembly, the Senate, and all that stuff. Yeah. So it was around that time that Babangida was planning his transition, in all sincerity, that thiefnubu and his gang, who were at the time possibly running away from the case of the American DEA pursuing the Nigerian drug dealers and their partners in America back then. True story, right? So Koolu returned back to Nigeria. When he got back to Nigeria, he quickly joined the political transition of Babangida, and he was elected, courtesy of his mother, Abibatu Mogaji, adopted mother. All right. So Tinubu became a senator, which was his, and it was, I think it was also the party secretary or something like that. Anyway, Koolu, with that, he became part of their national disk, and they were the people urging Babangida on, by the way, right? So we don't know what went wrong when Abacha suddenly, surfaced. It seemed that, Abacha targeted the likes of Koolu and many others, because to Abacha, these were the guys within the corridors of power. They are like our pals. Do you understand? So, and we all know that it's about power, selfishness, and all of that. So why are they all thinking they could, usurp me and other stuff? So thiefnubu left Nigeria to London, not to America, where he's been living. Because if he was to return back to America, because Muiz Agbeli, or what's that guy's name? His partner, right? Who was arrested and he was jailed in America at the time, one of the witnesses. So thiefnubu ran to London. And in London, he didn't have to work. He's got so much money, drug money. And that was when NADECO was formed to fight Abacha. And some of you need to know this. That's what Sule Lamido is trying to kind of remind everyone, that the narrative is so different today. They are parading themselves as democratic people. But when you look at, they are in power right now, and you can just look and be like, there's nothing democratic about these guys. Like all of their actions, their deed and everything is in total contrast to what you can say, oh, these are progressives, democratic, I don't know. I don't feel democratic in a way that, human rights abuses seems to be at the worst right now. Say something and you can disappear. And these are the guys who told people that they had to fight the military so that Nigerians would have to suffer that. Today, you know what it is now. How the DSS can make you disappear just like that. Right? So let's hear Sule Lamido. So anyway, the story is that around that time that they said Babangida was going to annul the June 12th, there were actual people that wanted the election annulled. Not only that, like what you're witnessing today in Nigeria is not new. It's been like that. thiefnubu's adopted mother, Abibatu Mogaji, he's also a politician, right from the days of the Awolowos, the Jakon days and all that, right? Using Yaoloja, the Market Women Association, sort of like influence for that time. It's on record that Abibatu Mogaji was among the many other groups that rallied and gave solidarity to Babangida, while our supposed adopted son Bola is in the UK funding NADECO. You get that? So the NADECO then was to fight Abacha. Because Abacha shouldn't be part of the plan. The NADECO was to fight Abacha, but they told everybody that they were fighting for democracy. Well, we know better now anyway, at least, except for those who probably still want to live in that lie. Right? Well, here it is. I'm coming back.
You see, I feel highly entertained by Tinubu's rhetorics, the way he's dramatizing his own role, in Nigerian democracy. Luckily, we're all alive. Please go. Luckily, we're all alive. We're all there. We're all, participants in that particular, sphere of political activity. So I was in the middle of it. Tinubu became relevant and noticeable after Abacha took over government. Before then, he was the Senate, was the secretary of the party. And with all respect to him, you see, he was part of those people who were supporting Babangida's annulment of June 12. He was part of it. His own mother, Haja Mogaji from Lagos, was organizing Lagos market women to come to Abuja to pledge, support for Babangida. I'm saying this because it's simply history. I mean no harm. I mean don't mean to embarrass him. But then you see, he was actively handing gloves to Babangida. Now, when Babangida saw the fact that he was having a problem with the party, he went to the National Assembly to address them. One infamous speech was, they are trying to incite you. It is you they are against. Tinubu was there, and IU became very, very firm and straight on the issue of June 12. He called a meeting, then being the only senior elected person in government at that time, as Senate President. He convened a meeting in Edo, in Benue. We were going there with the governor, where we went there and reaffirmed our commitment to June 12. All right? Babangida was so angry with IU. He only came, but he removed him and put in a better arrow. A better arrow, he put him there so that, so that they can be aligned to Babangida, political kind of machinations. So when Tinubu today, after being a Nigerian president, decided to rewrite history, trying to maybe deconstruct history and then rewrite it, then it is very, very amusing because he was part of the Babangida support of June 12. He was part of it. Now, it was only when Abacha took over government that Tinubu then became a so-called activist of June 12. Not only all those who are talking about June 12 in NADECO, I mean no harm, I mean no disrespect. I'm simply saying what happened during that time. All of them, those who were in NADECO, where were they on June 11? They had no part in June 12. They are not part of June 12 campaign. They are not part of the June 12 activities. What they are never, because most of them are saying they should down look. All of them, because they know believe they won't work out. So when Abiola won the election, and then after the annulment, they are all very, very passive. But suddenly, after Abacha came on board, removing Sonekam, they became activists. They formed NADECO. NADECO was opposed to Abacha, was opposed to election formation. NADECO was something which was formed, to fight Abacha, not to fight democracy, not to fight for June 12. So whatever Tinubu is doing today is simply reconstructing history the way he thinks is going to fit his own political interests. But then obviously he was a major supporter of Babangida. Ask Babangida, ask him. So when you talk about, already June 12, what are those characters? Ebote Ere, somebody who replaced Ayu for June 12? Who are the others? All of them. So he ran away. We stayed behind. We fought Abacha. I was detained, because of my fight with Abacha. I was detained. Really was detained. So all of us, Adamu Churuma, Bola Ege, Yoche Ayu, Kwame, and many others, Bagaji, all of them were there. We fought Abacha. We fought him because we were willing to risk our lives. Tinubu ran away. He was not in the country. He only came back after the whole thing was, after the call was very, very clear. So what I'm saying is, all those advocates of June 12, they are more concerned with the bath water rather than the baby. They are more concerned because most of them were at the end of the meal when the product was being processed. They simply picked up the product. The process which produced the product, they are not there. They're not part of it. They only pick the product. And today it's not about the victor, but it's about the victory more than anything else. So we make this kind of distinction. The difference between the victory and the victor. The NADECO were more concerned with the victory than the victor. As far as they are concerned, in the bathwater they are trying to use, they are trying to hang on to their own kind of riding on top to reinvent, history in Nigeria. Otherwise, I feel embarrassed.
Yeah, has no job.
Now, don't get it twisted. All right? Let's get the story straight. Like he said that they were Babangida boys and they supported the annulment of June 12. Two truths can coexist. Now, that they were Babangida boys, that is true. That Tinubu, as worse as he is, supported the annulment of June 12, that is not true, as worse as Tinubu is. And here is the context or the backstory. From time immemorial, at least from the earliest time that I can remember, Babangida, or should I say, from 1976, MKO Abiola has been part and parcel of the Khaki Boys. In fact, it is on record that there is no coup that took place until that of Abacha, that MKO Abiola did not participate in. Every coup since 1970, what? 1976, I don't know. That he was there, here you get. So meaning he was close with all these guys. In fact, thiefnubu, Babangida, Abacha, MKO Abiola, we have actually seen them all together in the, especially in that early 90s, 1990, 1991. So yeah, like they were Babangida boys. But when Abacha and the circumstances that they cooked together and said that Babangida should annul that election. There were other forces, but I'm not probably going to go into that. That part created NADECO. That is also true. There was never anything NADECO until Abacha took over. You see, when it was, there's no proof, but again, kind of makes sense, right? They said, when Babangida announced the annulment of the election to MKO Abiola, Babangida was pretty much like testing or looking for kind of like trouble, because the Khaki Boys have already pledged to him that they will be on his side. That when Babangida now announced Shonekon as the interim government, right? So, and some people went to court and all that. It was said that when Abacha was going to go and take over, that MKO Abiola was in fact aware. Like I said, I don't have any proof, but it was said that MKO Abiola trusted Abacha to right the wrongs of Babangida. And in fact, it was also said that to give Abacha his blessing, they said Abacha said he was going to spend a year and then return Nigeria back to democracy, which is going to be MKO Abiola. You see, all of this, they are like publicly available information. These were from people's interviews, those who were closer to them, those who, like books that people have written about all these events. Sule Lamido can't change that. Shouldn't change that. So then, how did Tinubu get involved? Immediately, Babangida annulled the election. There were those still pressuring. In fact, it was among the people the Abacha regime dissolved. How the National Assembly is hereby dissolved. You remember that famous broadcast of Abacha? All the NURTW road transport workers are hereby dissolved. Local government dissolved. Senate dissolved. This one, do you remember that video? So that was when thiefnubu and others who were comfortable, even Segun Oshoba was governor of Ogun State then. The one that later came back in 1999 to become governor of Ogun State. Segun Oshoba. So it was, thiefnubu was a senator. So they were comfortable to be civilians under military. So that's why I said that two truths can coexist. So when Abacha now dissolved everybody, Lagos Ibadan Expressway Media, which the likes of Tinubu, MKO Abiola, Concord, all their papers then were all over Abacha. In fact, I don't know. In fact, it was that they were initially praising Abacha until after like 6 months, and it became obvious that Abacha didn't plan to hand over to MKO Abiola. The drum just changed. The music changed. Abacha became this demon that, and it was later when he died that we realized that Abacha was so kind of famous in the social circle of the Southwest Nigeria. He was a GOC in Ibadan. All his friends, most of his friends, they were Yorubas from other places. Like the Abacha that I grew up was a monster. Abacha that just get people killed as a little young man. That was the Abacha I knew. But guess what? Those who made that happen, they were the thiefnubus and others, all these guys were young. And why did they do all of that? Because they had to fight Abacha. He has kicked them out of power. He's alienated them. You know what I mean? Like, it's about power. Just like you are witnessing today. There are those who were with Bokuwari, and those who were not with him. You see how those who were with him were defending? And those ones who are not, how vicious and all that they were. It was like that then too. So Thiefnubu ran to London. Other people ran away. Others who felt like they should stay, they stayed back. Most of them got arrested. Some of them got killed. Many others rotten, they like rot in jail. But that was when Thiefnubu and his gang managed to leave Nigeria. It was never for once declared wanted by Abacha. No, it was never wanted. I mean, they had to go and fight. That's when the NADECO started. So they started talking, like, they started giving them asylums in different parts of the world. Some of them got asylums in the UK, in other parts of the world like that, right? That's, So Lamido shouldn't change the history. Thiefnubu is a crook, no doubt, but he was never in support of any annulment. And it was, in fact, after Abacha took over that they felt like Babangida didn't dissolve them. Babangida just annulled the election. And they said the transition, this will be announced later. That was it. It was Abacha that came back. How many months later? September to when again? Is it 17 days? I don't know. You see? But then Lamido Sanusi also had, no, sorry, it's not Lamido Sanusi. His name is Sule Lamido. So Sule Lamido also added this. Please don't mind the way he talks. That's how he talks. So when I come back, I can possibly break it down and say, okay, this is what he said. Right? Right. So listen.
I am part of any arrangement, no matter whatever nomenclature or name, to remove the current government of incompetency, of insecurity, of dividing the Nigerian family between North and South out of power. I'll go into any arrangement for that purpose.
That's fantastic. But that doesn't particularly answer my question. Are you part of this particular arrangement? Ada?
What I'm saying is this. You see, don't panic. You see, I'm not going to person who keep on panicking over issues. I don't panic. I walk with my eyes wide open. What I'm saying is that today in Nigeria, we've got a government which is dividing Nigerians along North and South, dividing Nigerians along ethnicity line, and also using institutions of the state in manipulating and controlling and coercing, the opposition. For instance, I just saw a program now of the governor of Akwa Ibom, and when I saw him speak, I just pitied him because he's somebody who 2 years ago was unknown in Nigeria, unknown by anybody, who was then honored and dignified by PDP and made a governor. See him talking now, renouncing his own history, his own tradition, his own legacy. It's just a pity. So to me, coming from the old generation, I'm not really frightened by the way the current generation is moving around. So to me, any arrangement, I'll be part of any arrangement of any chemistry, any configuration, whatever you may call it, if it is going to remove this government out of power, because the government for the first time in Nigeria is now a government not for Nigeria, but then for a political party. The entire government today in Nigeria is not for Nigeria, it's for political party. I mean, how do you imagine the president holding political party function of the APC in the villa, a very, very sacred place, which is the seat of Nigerian power for all Nigerians, holding party function in the villa. So you could see how low we have sunk. You could see how really the country is literally gone under Tinubu. So again, I will be part of any arrangement, anything which is going to make sure that this party is fresh out of power. I'll follow.
So what he's saying is that call it whatever you want to call it. This year, 2027, this is like a life and death fight. And anything and everything is going to take to get thiefnubu out. You know, it will be part of it. I mean, even if he didn't say that, right? Isn't that what every one of them would want to do? At least, I mean, at this point. Yeah? Whatever you can do to get rid of APC. Oh yeah, may everybody come together. You understand? Like, okay, we'll see how, because to thiefnubu and his gang, these guys are not enough. It's just, you see, it's normal. You know? I'm not trying to pretend that I'm a psychic. No. But whatever I say, anything you hear me say, they are not like makeups. Like, I am saying them based on the available information that I have been exposed to. Most of them are public. They are not private. And when I say information, it includes the body language, the actions, the inactions of these guys. You know, if you notice it very well, you can, I don't know about you, but you can easily tell that they are not by any means pressured about anything. You get what I mean? Like, you can see when Goodluck Egbere Jonathan started the battle of this Boko Haram then. You heard the news that they just killed 14 people in a place. Boko Haram just attacked so, and they just killed 12 people. Hey! About all of us had opinion. No? And we are talking about emotionally driven anger, like you get reactions. What the hell? What's in the all this now? This one go finish Nigeria. How can they be killing Nigerians like this? How can they, you know, like the reaction was like almost unanimous. Even those with the support Jonathan, they feel like, the guy they fall on, man. Like the guys, you got what I mean? This, so what we are witnessing today was actually a child's play. Tens of thousands of lives have been lost, especially in the last 10 years of the Al-Qaeda People's Congress, APC, and those who get killed directly by the terrorists, Fulani terrorists, Lakurawa terrorists, Boko Haram terrorists, ISWAP terrorists. You see, somehow, as horrible as that is, seems to be like, you know, a better one than some of you who have to like chronically die in pain of hunger. Do you know how many days it is going to take for a human being to die for not eating? Do you know how many days? 7 days. If you make count to 8 days, now only your toes could they breathe. So I imagine somebody died because they were hungry. Can you imagine the pain? Can you imagine until they get to a stage that they have become so weak that they can't breathe anymore? They have economically strangulated the people. Inflation, hyperinflation has killed many, right? People are choosing between buying food or buying medicine. People on terminal sicknesses or ailments, right? Because of this ruined economy. And people are dying because of that. So they had to ration their medication. They had to, you know, in all of this, people have become so desensitized. And when you look at thiefnubu and his gang, look at what they are doing every now and then. Do you see them under any pressure? Do they look like they are under any pressure? Because to them, what pressure? That's why I said to them, no matter how this coalition, this or that, it's just politics. They are wasting their time. And that's a good thing. You know, I've said that before on this platform. I said the system first need to collapse, and those who are the product of it should perish with it. But unfortunately, it seemed that those who have the men of yesterday are those who have the resources to possibly challenge the men of today. And that is why you have the likes of Sule Lamido and many others currently talking together to come and save us from thiefnubu. But me, I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight. Here is what I believe that, number one, for anything at all, APC needs to buy. You get what I mean? Like, APC need to kind of like with what they have done to people in that place. So, and Nigerians, even Nigerians all over the world, APC as a party needs to die. You get what I mean? And everything associated with it should perish. So that, number one, you can take care of that existential threat first. And if you succeed, that same strength, you possibly could use it to redirect our own trajectory. Because APC, Ebekebe, represents something that is so evil enough that even their members, I don't know, their members have become, I don't know how to describe it. When somebody says, it is better for me to die in hunger than for me not to support thiefnubu. And you're like, what are you talking about? So, I have to. And democracy is such a very dangerous form of government. Because, you know, they say you should be very, very careful. Yeah, careful. You should be very afraid of foolish people in large numbers. Because in a democracy, they can choose a president or validate one. Even if they can't elect one, they can possibly help, you know, validate one. And the policy of this evil gathering will affect millions of people, including women and children, especially children. We are watching what is going on. If they are not out of school, they are presently at the mercy of a terrorist who is there to butcher them. And there is no pressure. There is nothing. Talking about 2027. Just as if to say, oh, yeah, it's a normal thing now. Like, so APC needs to kind of like, you know, buy it totally. And that is why if APC now says, "Una too small, can't get too much confidence," it is a good thing. So that their overconfidence and everything, they will now trample on you. So if your coalition, you be everybody, you can become coalition, whatever it is. So, if you are indeed the coalition, there's no word like that, but if you are indeed coalition, you should be able to actually run thiefnubu and his gang out of town when they pull out their weight, the weight that is giving them this confidence. And there, my own money day. That's the one I want to put my money on. That if thiefnubu thinks, you know, it is going to be business as usual, then maybe he's not thinking right. That is what some of these guys preparing for their 2027 are saying. And to me, yeah, we are now. Because in the process, something is going to happen. So a lot of us believe that except this contraption is indeed renegotiated among, you know, the what they call the federating units, it's nothing called one Nigeria in that regard. We need our interests to be protected by a country that has a system that represents our interests, a system that is put together based on our own yearning and what have you, by our own design, a system, right, that indeed represents everyone. And if anyone's kind of like own right or have is violated, there will be procedures to indeed follow and say, you know what, let's cut it off. Now, that kind of a thing to happen, this current one needs to die down. But we seem not to have probably the immediate resources to do that, right? But again, there are many things that can happen that could lead to that, right? So one of them is that the confidence of trying to validate fraudulent elections and all that, which is what is expected of Tinubu anyway, that is enough. So whether you're going to accept it or you're not going to accept it, yeah, is probably waited to be seen. Okay, the people of Benue State continue to remind the rest of Nigeria that as much as, yeah, majority of our people have become so desensitized and somehow feels like whatever is going on in that part of Nigeria is probably none of their own business. Or maybe it will be your business if you can think right. Because the criminals in power who don't really give a damn about anybody, right? They all have their own alternatives. They have places that, I mean, they have second addresses, even third, fourth, and even fifth. They also have citizenship of different places. Thiefnubu is a Genene, apart from being your Nigerian, right? Thiefnubu is a Genene. And I don't know if he is also British. No record of that, sorry, no record of that. But he's a Genene from Equatorial Guinea, a beginning Guinea-Bissau, I don't know. But it's not a Nigerian, that's alone. So they all have their citizenship of other places, right? But for you, we don't have any. Benue, middle belt of Nigeria. Somebody said once the terrorists overrun the middle belt part of Nigeria, they will overrun the rest of Nigeria. And I think I'm going to actually agree with him, except something happens, right? Listen to this.
Now, that's for me, cosmetic, and it is face-saving. If you've arrested one person, I challenge the IGP of police to provide the mug pictures and the charge sheet of that arrest. Because 200 people were slaughtered, all right? If you've arrested one person, then in this country, people are paraded, you know, when they steal phones, when they steal smartphones. So you have somebody that is accused of slaughtering 200 people. Nigerians, and particularly the families of these people, deserve to know who that fellow is. Let's have a mugshot. Let's know what, you know, what the charge sheet is saying, you know, and what those people are, what offense they've actually committed. It's that important.
But the law says police can parade, mind you, they are suspected, and one person can kill 200 people.
Exactly, that's the point.
But the law says you can't parade people.
Every day on television, we see them parade people for stealing smartphones. So why have a selective operating procedure? Here you have somebody that is accused of killing 200 people. Your guess is as good as mine. It's not possible for one person to slaughter 200 people in their sleep. So for me, it's face-saving, it's cosmetic, it's all in a grand effort to deflate the seriousness that this situation deserves. So if the IGP of police indeed has begun to make arrests following the president's order, then we demand to see mugshots of the arrests he has made. Let us see the charge sheets. Like he said, this is a very serious issue. It's not just a casual report, or no, it's something very serious. 200 Nigerians were slaughtered in their sleep. These people have citizens, they have rights as Nigerians. What crime did they commit? Is it because they were peasant farmers? These people are just trying to survive. But then, like I said, there's a grander conspiracy. In all of this.
What's the grand conspiracy?
What is happening in Benue? You know, there's a lot of falsehood that is going around, and like I said, the whole idea is to deflate the seriousness of the matter. What is happening in Benue is not a communal conflict. It is something. It's a conspiracy of grand proportions. You have international actors that have been brought into the country to seize territory and transmit same to commercial interests. That is what we are facing here. And the truth of the matter is that, look, what is happening in Benue is just proof of concept. Benue is just a buffer. If nothing is done about this, if Benue falls, Nigeria will fall. It's only a matter of time. If these people overrun Benue, Enugu is next. I can assure you, we will have this conversation in another 5 years, and it will be a very sad story. So the earlier we understood the gravity of this situation and did the needful. I'm in agreement with him that what we need to do at this point is to deploy deadly force to smoke these people from out of their holes. That is how you respond to criminality. You don't analyze criminality. You respond. There should be consequence for bad behavior. Now that
will be when those who are to carry out such punitive measures are not the same people sponsoring and benefiting from the chaos, from the bloodbath. A man told us 12 years ago what we are witnessing today. And it's unfortunate, right? That man is currently locked up and being charged for terrorism, while the terrorists are being represented, defended on TV by the president of a country, his own appointees. They are talking about non-kinetic, and the terrorists continue to massacre and cleanse and clear genocide of all kinds around the middle belt part of Nigeria today. 12 years ago, Mazi.
My name is Kano, and the reason why we're here today is to protest the killing of innocent women and children, and men for that matter, all over Nigeria, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. We are not happy, we are not pleased with what is happening, and that is why we're here today. As you can see, there are a lot of Nigerians who are protesting about the killing of families, people who are determined to tear the country apart violently, and it is not something that we support. It is not something that we would like to see continue, and we are here today to send a clear message to the Nigerian government, through the High Commissioner, that what is happening in the country is unacceptable and we cannot accept it. If that continues, it will lead to the violent disintegration of the country. There will be no more Nigeria for anyone to go to. There will be no Nigeria for anyone to refer to. In fact, what is happening in Somalia today will be like a tea party. So we cannot allow this nonsense to continue. Something has to be done. And the consequences of the actions of terrorism in Nigeria must be driven home to the people, so that even the terrorists themselves will be able to understand that there is no mileage in where they're going. The only thing they can accomplish is the breakup of Nigeria. If they think that they can cower people, if they think they can force people to be coerced into a religion which is not theirs, then they are clearly mistaken. We are asking for peace. We are asking for people to get together. We are asking for everybody who loves Nigeria, who is associated with that country, to please prevail upon terrorism in Nigeria so we can bring it to an end. That is why a multitude of Nigerians are gathered here today. Those of us in the UK are determined to work with the government for peace. We are determined to work with the international community for peace. But one thing we cannot stomach is a repeat of 1966. What is happening today in Nigeria was the reason why Nigeria fought a bitter civil war for 3 years between 1967 and 1970. If this continues, there will be another civil war in Nigeria. And this time around, no place will be safe in Nigeria. This time around, nobody will be safe in Nigeria. So it is imperative that everybody who has the interest of the country at heart acts now and immediately to stop this nonsense from continuing.
Rather, they criminalized him. Today, the terrorists are busy cleansing the indigenous people from all over Nigeria. And like that man said, once they overrun the middle belt, the next is going to be the southeast of Nigeria. Enugu is already experiencing serious attacks of these Fulani terrorists. Same thing is going on in Ebonyi, in Anambra, and in Imo, where the supposed state governors and politicians who are meant to defend their own people, provide security, at least if they are not part of the conspiracy of this ethnic cleansing by the Fulani terrorists in Nigeria. But rather, they criminalized discussing self-defense in Nigeria. So they are not worried. They kill everyone before 2027. Those who survive, there will still be those of them that, some of them that will go out there, line up to validate it and say, we are voting for share you get. But time will tell. That's what people say now. They say time will tell. Just give it time. you know. So it is being said that truly thiefnubu is looking to the direction of Kwakwanso right now in order to replace a Shittyman. That is no big deal, right? But suddenly people said, sorry, I saw a video of thiefnubu. I think this was during their campaign when he said himself and the Shittyman will never have to fight themselves in Wuse markets. That means it won't be like Obasanjo and Atiku.
We will not abuse each other in Wuse market like Obasanjo and Atiku.
That was Koolu. So we hope it will be just like that. But for those who know Koolu very well, see, I can call you my brother, right? So my brother from the northern part of Nigeria, especially if you are, you know, an Arewa person who would brag about, you know, the sagacity and all of that stuff of your political leaders. And some of you are already thumping your chest right now, saying, "Make thiefnubu drop and first, they go see." Just make I tell you, when thiefnubu was governor, everything around thiefnubu is like that of a mafia. He would rather have his way or the highway. So when thiefnubu was governor, he had to change his deputies 3 times in 8 years. And it wasn't like an easy fight as well. Those people put up a fight, but not thiefnubu remained. My fear for Shittyman is that may they not go and tell me it look like accident. Pastor Ruga escaped one when they were, you know, they were giving him Ghana must go money to be sharing trader money everywhere. And his chopper crashed in Kogi. They called it a miracle. But it was a little miss. It was supposed to be an accident. I don't know how many of you remember that. They were planning for second term that time. Remember? Then suddenly Pastor Ruga was going to Kogi to go and share money. Whoa. They don't announce, say Pastor Ruga, like say, don't die you. Alaye quickly turned the camera on. You know, that in this day and time, you can go live and quickly dispel anything. Now, so Pastor Ruga put on the camera. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. I know you have heard the news of our crash. It was really, really that bad. But, well, you know, by the grace of God, that's our shopper there. He crashed. But they have brought Keke Marua now. We are loading the money into the Keke Marua. We are on our way to Kogi. We are just about 15 kilometers away before the helicopter, being a chopper, developed this. Pastor Ruga went live, and the money must be delivered. Like person will do money ritual. You know those people where they do money ritual, and they will say the spirit will bring you the money. You must finish the money that day. You can't go back home with it. So guys, but thiefnubu and his own crew, they won't be so. They are not good in governance. When it comes to power and greed and this, you know, this money, they can do anything. So instead of you to think you are looking forward to punishing thiefnubu because they won't use Shittyman, if accident can happen, she they not go see me, they go bring another person. Make come be thiefnubu say. I just say make I give you that hint. So voila everywhere, you see, until I saw a group of Katsina youth. They came together to give their solidarity to Iran. And you know why I'm sharing this? Because some of them were saying that they won't mind to go to Iran and fight on the side of Iran. Or however, in solidarity, they are, you know, but on social media where this video is kind of like doing numbers right now, I have seen some Nigerians saying, Iran, northern Nigeria is very far from the south. So it is not Nigeria that is supporting, you know, Nigerian, typical Nigerian thing, right? But I also remember that during the End Bad Governance, what have you, in the northern part of Nigeria last year, some of the children, they kidnapped and locked up for over 100 days, those underage children. They said they locked them up because they were flying the Russian flags. Meaning maybe some Russia intel, Abina, or have you joined them. Here is the Iranian one too. Support and standing. They said they stand with Iran.
Dan Allah izo ibamu mu tafi kuma kafin mu je ai leta a ga ayatul lahi ya rubuta ga sojojin annabi daga Najeriya a tanadan mana a tisaye ai mana training na sati biyu don mu kalubalance Amerika da ba ma ko ta dariƙa mu mabiya annabi ne da kishin addini kuma ko mun zo ƙasar ka ayatul lahi ba za mu shi'a ba kawai aikin nan zamu shi a kuku a bakku amma ku taimake mu ku ba mu makamin kare dangi mu dilfa da America wa hababihi aina ma kanu fi dunya kaga Allah shi ya san inda suke duk inda sai Allah ya kashe su Allah ya saka Iran da alheri
Ayatullah Ayatullah
And it is because of this Israeli-Iran war. But I don't know what is really wrong with people. I mean, they can do both, right? Nigerians, you are being killed. Your neighbors, communities in your state are being ransacked by these terrorists. Boko Haram, Lakurawa, Fulani terrorists and all of that. You are reading that in the papers every now and then. I'm talking about where hundreds and thousands of people are dying. I've not seen that kind of energy. You get what I mean? Like the energy to say, oh yeah, they are showing the same. But Nigeria is really divided along religious and tribal lines. So don't let anybody deceive you and don't join them in trying to be politically correct. You know? And it's so bad, right? That when the news says 6 or 10 travelers who are Hausa travelers, Abi Fulani travelers, were attacked by some hoodlums, and they killed them in so place. Where is that? Oh, Jos, oh, Plateau State. Nadi Mangu people, Nadi, you know what I mean? Like, you begin to see reactions from most of the reaction that is going to be the loudest too, because now, like me now, every one of them are the react to, whether you are a Muslim or a Christian and whatever, you know. But the reaction will be like, it will be like say the whole sky is going to crash and we are going to die in another few minutes because of these guys. Then boom, gone. So whenever village of the Christians where women, children were also slaughtered, it will just be like the Christians and elders will be at the top of their voice. This is very bad. This is a Boko Haram terrorist. You see the northern Muslims and what have you, they will just keep quiet. Like that, that's how the country is. There's no unison to say, they are killing a lot of people here too. Anyway, Nigeria, somebody said on Mayegun's Diary Politico yesterday, I don't know, like it's among hundreds of other comments. And it was the story of how someone who happened to be a judge in Bayelsa was allegedly kidnapped last night. And you know what that someone said? If you are that person, I just want you to know that your comment really, really cracked me up. What was that comment? That person said, one day I will read good news on this platform in Jesus' name. I was like, hang on. I'm just sharing the information that borders on the corruption in governments, abuse of power, impunity by those in government, economic disasters, the victims of the economic disasters, the insecurity report. All this information that somehow, sure you get, they affect you. How can you then put that on me like I'm bringing you bad news? When he said, I will read, one day I will read good news on this platform in Jesus. I was like, that's not mine. It's not my fault, right? You should just say that one day you wake up and read good news from Nigeria. Me, I see something like this, now I keep quiet. Wait. Slow down. I just said that somebody from Bayelsa, a judge, was kidnapped. They said a gunman. Others said they look like DSS. Others said no, DSS no, they carry AK-47. We are still arguing who they kidnapped who in Yenagua last night. When another video made it to the internet. And what was that? A supposed sole administrator. You know that anything sole administrator is alien to Nigerian, even Nigerian fake constitution. Sole administrator is alien to your constitution. thiefnubu created sole administrator in a democracy. They can create sole administrator for local government too. But Awada, be waiting to the place, Awada East, local government area of Rivers State. Say the sole administrator. I think help us, help. I will do it. Kilo shina. Why can't they go to beat an elderly person like this? I still don't know what he did though. But the video you are about to watch next is a little bit, it may be a little bit distressful for you. Do you get what I mean now? So viewers' discretion is highly advised. Now someone the papa that they beat like this one.
Sign immediately. Where is the signature? Sign. I can confirm the signature. Is it correct? Sign again. Hey, go to face. Stop. Wait. Come on, hold on now. Who is this man?
I mean, they are supposed to be the same. With a wiki when they chased the spineless Fubara away. So they put themselves in. They appointed all of them. Like, what did he do? What did he say to anyone? That they had to beat him like that. Guess what? Why they are beating him? They told him to resign. Resign. Or we kill you. And so grown up man, no. Now the guy with that, he was begging them. Then they prepared his resignation. He just needed to sign it. And he was telling them, I will sign it. They were just like latching them. I don't know the other people they were beating with him, all right? But look at that letter. He said, I humbly write. He said, the sole administrator, River State Government House, Port Harcourt, letter of resignation, 20th June 2025. Sequel to the above subject matter, I humbly write to your noble office to convey to you my resignation as the administrator, Awada East Local Government Area. My decision is informed by my desire to return back to the private sector. My sincere gratitude goes to the government of Rivers State and the good people of Awada East for finding me worthy to serve as administrator of the Awada East Local Government Area from 11th day of April 2025 to 20th day of July. Baba Ele opposite date resignation anyway. They don't even read them anything. So yeah, sign. The guy just want to get out of the place.
Sign immediately. Where is the signature? Sign. Thank you. Sajas, confirm the signature. Is it correct? Sign again. Hey! Don't do face. Stop. The man. Wait. Come on, Hold on now. Who is this man?
Now waiting. Now a resignation letter be that. He shall finally signed. And those boys, I have not seen it in the news, that those who assaulted him have been arrested. A country where they kidnapped a sitting governor and they locked him up in a toilet, a guest house toilet, and they forced him to announce his resignation. And he resigned. Christine Gige. So every time, come back home. He said everything. Say, Kemi wa come back home. Can you wear a thought be and you lori bruku and you need jeku jalate ala jetenu bole? They wa come more council. Ma call police. May they tell us may they no answer me. Ma call army. May they tell us may they no answer me because they just want you come be. They want no me pass in office on top waiting. Because I want do waiting go. Then no your ben. I want roku jati. So that is their politics. And they will say, you have to be a strong man. You have to be a strong man. Strong man call.
Before I go on, let me postulate from the Franz Fanonian dictum, which stipulates that the dialectics of reconciling two conflicting ideas is the algebra of revolution. The overbearing intervention of the state government had further exacerbated oporompium and amounting to sadomasochisms. Acrimony and chaos in our community. It was a contumelious stratagem by political jobbers to siphon monies. We suffer what we call political axivia neonantorum.
We report Nigeria, and that is the kind of a point I also want to bring to fore. As you have worries in government, you have worries in the civil service, you have, it's like dog eat dog kind of a world. Listen to this old man. He was a police officer that retired, and his retirement package, according to him, is 2 million naira. 2 million naira is less than 900 pounds. After serving Nigeria police for over 30 years, 3 decades. Now, social media seems to be a place where, like all of us, we could just let out the entire frustration, like this old man.
I love Nigerian police. I dey love. A retired superintendent of police. I retired from the Nigerian police in 2023, October 1st. Since then, nothing has been paid to me. Just 2 weeks back, they called me that they are going to pay me 3 million naira. What for? They say that is my pension. Lo and behold, the 3 million naira is not just all the whole pension. That 1 million naira is my arrears for the time, from the time I retired to date. Then 2 million naira is my entitlement. I cannot serve this country for good 35 years and being paid 2 million naira. The devil is a liar. Please, the IG, let the IG hear this. I was a superintendent of police before retirement. Even if your brother happens to be a police superintendent of police today and he is being asked to take 2 million naira home as a retirement benefit, ask yourself if it will be well. I am not collecting that money. I am not going to collect that money. Let my service be in vain. I don't give a shit. I don't have money. And 2 million naira will not solve or make me being a rich man. It will never. I'm not rich. And because of, I will not, no. Wasted all my years thinking that I'll take something home after retirement. All the police will do is to give me 2 million naira. What a shame. And I said, I serve my father's land. I serve my country wholeheartedly. Then my benefit will be 2 million naira. Please, I want the whole world to hear this. $2 million naira, a superintendent of police. I want the federal government to do something about this thing. If the federal government will not take action on my own.
This is the consequence of the vote you voted. And it's too early to cry now because actually the real problem hasn't come. This is the consequence of the vote you voted. And it's too early to cry now because actually the real problem hasn't come. This is the consequence of the vote you voted. And it's
die, everybody die. So why am I sharing that with us? You know, we don't like police. We don't like Nigeria police. If you are my friend and you are a policeman on this platform, please, don't judge us. All right? Police is not our friend. All right? So that is why we are not friends of the police. And anything we see them, sometimes we don't wish you well. That's the point. If you're a police officer, it shouldn't be like that too. It is because the policemen in Nigeria have contributed to the worsened supposed anxiety and the trauma that an ordinary person has been subjected to in that country. And why was that? Because the system that is cheating them, the system that won't pay them well, the system that gave them no insurance, a system that pays them 2 million naira when they retire, a system, you know, it's a system rigged against them. Whenever the people try to rise up against these rogues, the policemen will tell you that, you know, it's my job, I'm just doing my job. I have to do my job. Your job to kill people who are standing up against these guys. Shoot tear gas. Fire them. Those who are demanding for a working country that could possibly give you a better life as a police officer yourself. Now, if you think currently the corrupt system is still helping you, you are still being covered up because you have a gun. You can also threaten unarmed citizens, extort them, like do all of that stuff. There's always that time, though. You will retire. The reality will set in. You won't have the strength to fight the same system you have protected for so long because you have to do your job. They just give us order. I'm just following order. Really? Just following order. Order to protect something that will continue to make your old age a tearful one. Gossip is learning well. George, you can not sorry if you don't understand Yoruba. This video is that of a judge. During the time they are kidnapping him in Yenagua, Bayelsa State capital. In Nigeria.
They should not see you.
My car is tinted.
Okay. You can off it now. Why are you owning it? Why are you off the car? Oh man, this thing is serious, man. Jesus Christ.
Now, you will say, oh, maybe they are just doing their usual thing now. Like all this, they are arresting people on the right, on the roadside and all of that stuff. But that's a judge, that was a judge, a high court judge in Bayelsa. Olo Jusimo to be man. Nigeria. Ish. Similarly, you see that guy you hear that old man, the retired police officer, superintendent of police, lamenting. Yeah, and he said he just wasted his life working as a police officer. Very sad, sir, Papa. I can imagine. There is a young man who is here to grow old, whose own regret is that many of his own mates told him to leave Nigeria. But he was among those who felt like Nigeria is a place you can make it in Nigeria anytime. You can make it. You see, do you know how many people in Nigeria that are making it in Nigeria? But when Nigeria happened to you, there's always going to be that time. And as Yorubas will say, Abamo king bere oro. Now, the last it be. You know what I mean, right? Regrets. I know. They start what? They start things. So now after, sure you get. Now after you have done something, I know. I know. Kind of. So to those of you who are still surviving Nigeria, good luck. Conduce to you, every one of you. But pray for this guy, because it seems his property is gone. Not even the palace of Oba of Benue. Listen to him.
No, I first go ITV before. I go to report for ITV. Let me get the ass. Papa, who's the restaurant from? They're not right now. Excuse me. Why not forward of that? You were there for half the test. No protest. Okay, one thing on this one. Protest like this one. One thing on this seat now. Your association and companies. Not the association, I'm military after my house. My house. Yes. They don't give me so that make I don't meet up. This one my house. Don't be personal. We do calm down. The shots are over. Only problem. Yeah. What was the arrest? There's somebody go to petition.
So as I buy and finish, you know, on the no-get. So the no-get direct. Who are the name? What is the name? Agawa. Yeah, I'm on the no-get where they suspend. I mean, because I know you know they got the company. Not you build house. Now me build house. You know what thing they happen for the environment. I know be from Benin. I be data. And I don't too know be by data. My friend, not be your house. Not be you people. Not in the house. Not be the house I dey see here. In my house. Did you know? I don't understand what you do. If you dey here now, you rent house for you no go know wetin dey here. They suspend the no-get now, bros. I'm not going to know now. There are some things where they say, I don't want to see they suspend the no-get. So what did they can't do now? They can't destroy your house, say, oh, that which waiting now. You not pay waiting. All the time they meet to no-get, not tell me anything. Now yesterday, they come show me to say, now waiting, say the army now give her the land. That's why I come here without, maybe they help me call and make you give me. I beg I did. Just a video me they go. Because I know me from this state, now make them not answer me. Because if my Delta state where I come from, I go cry, go meet my king, I go lie down, they will allow me see even go inside my lay my complaint. I may be the victim, now my house be this. Now my house be this. That's why I cry, come palace so that they'll fear me. But no help. Now beg I did. Who go fear me, help me. Now beg I did. Now beg I did. Now because you know, my own sweat, what I work for my youthful age. I ring God I do for Benue City at those states. I don't know what I do, they know this. You know who someone is like Nigerian army, now do me this one. Yeah? I know you know what I do. I buy land from community for the community. I come palace now. You know people allow me enter because I not be indigene. If I be indigene, say I be sheep picking for allow me go stay inside. But don't carry this matter for head. All what I don't labor for. Now just be this. All what I labor for. What I only now justice. Me they help me call the no give me the answer. What I do? Before army they destroy property, they will call the person say come. They not call me, nothing. I just enter, just they call me say they don't destroy my house. How Nigerian youth want to believe in the country where they come from? Governor Koolu, they call your head. Me not see to this. Commissioner of police. I beg I did. Nothing where I do, where you say I do. That's why they call to help. I beg I did. How they go? Anybody where help me, help me. I beg now, come my phone, me let's say na palace now, see cry go. Yeah, na palace now, see cry go. Me let's see help me. You know, I don't tell to the community. Barrack soldiers now they destroy my house. I did for work, now they come and say they don't form my house up in the city. On Tuesday, now they destroy my house. I cry come palace, now nobody allow me inside. See, they are not going to carry all these ones here. Nothing will they don't do for me. So I say, okay, they show me, say now waiting they give me this. From how me there they see destroy my house. I not do anything, no. Not because I not come from this state. See as why I suffer build. As well build. Then they demolish like this. Nigeria army. You not get what I do. Now I crack up palace, they will allow me come inside palace. Because I not be from this state. Because I not be a dog. If my state that state 9 days, I go please see like one-on-one, they'll tell me say I'm not going inside. I go pass through ship. Because the process I did work hard to help me. No help. Nigeria army, I beg again. Our house is demolished. Now my house is demolished. Oh, now my house is demolished. Look what I do. Nigeria army, Nigeria police, Koolu, governor. I beg again. I don't know. I want to.
Tiagasa, the Tiagasa, he fell, he fainted, he passed out. He passed out. 70 years old man. How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Ah! Now they never leave you.
They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that. Sorry, oh. May God not allow them, make them kill you. 70 years old man. Oh.
I really felt for this guy. Like, I strongly really feel for him. Come on, at that point, if not maybe that guy, I will go join continue.
Papa, what you go cap us today now?
I will cap you legitimately based on how many men will be and occur for the Iceland to be cited. In a Chester, in a brutal, the chase of all man are not the same. I cap this thing for you. Vayanta, all chase of woman are not the same. Yeah. Look around. What do you see? You see Jesus Christ. Turn to your left and to your right.
I swear.
It says so bloody. Na me back in the baga for baga to be baga me baga. My name was Kano, but my bush name I road right gone. I'm unshakable, unbreakable. Police wanted, police rejected. As a grandson of Prince Odi, my name is recorded in the book of intelligence when made me to from Africa. Fire for the bastard.
Papa, what you go cap us today now?
I will cap you legitimately based
Nuisance Lele.
We are a poor nation. The ban Koolu will follow. They say firewood not full. They say we need to plant more trees. And they are not giving us money. We need to open our eyes, try shining, and tell the West. If you don't guarantee our finances and work with us to stop this, we are not going to comply with your climate change. They'll do it.
They'll do it. Now back to the state that shares border with Lagos, Ogun State. People have been calling the attention of the federal government, thiefnubu, as well as the dubious dapper of Ogun. Maybe I can join in that advocacy. Let's go tour Ogun State roads under APC.
No, ṣáà ìdìbò níbí báyìí.
Gúdúgbà.
Kí lẹ pé? Ṣáà ìdìbò níbí.
Láti Abúlòkò lọ sí Gúdúgbà.
Gúdúgbà níbí báyìí.
Abúlòkò.
Gúdúgbà ni ọ̀nà bí báyìí.
Ẹ tí ń bọ̀ láti pápá.
ẹjọ má bínú ṣáàdì ìbò níbí báyìí ìbò níbí pákótó mọ́tò onírìkì wà ọ̀nà ọ̀dà rárá. No, child, you be by.
Well, guess what? These guys have, you know, hired influencers on social media to tell everybody that these guys are working so like greatly, like they are the best thing that happened to their states since the invention of, or since the discovery of sliced bread. Sometimes you just be like, where do you want to start from? You know, and sometimes as well, you wish the conversation is even like face to face because you rather they say it to your face. Another thing I don't really like about people is that you are all living in an area or areas that are poorly developed and poorly managed with poor infrastructures and the rest of that. And then you have your phones where you can actually report all these things, put them out there, let them stay out there. But rather, they will say you are exposing. Why are you exposing a state like that? Why are you not posting what the criminal politicians are posting? Why are you not posting the airports? Why are you not posting this for no road in Ogun State? And the same people will tell you that they are trying. He's trying. This one is trying better. This one is trying better. And you're like, Jesus. So at that point, you know, at a point, I've once asked myself that, are we being truthful? Are we being like honest? Every time we claim to be disappointed that, you know, Nigerians are supporting their criminal leaders. Instead of them to fight for a better life, they should fight for this and that. Or are we being honest? Because when you say people should fight for a better life, are you talking about the life where they have 24 hours electricity, they have a good motorable roads, they have standard gauge rail tracks and all that? You know, they have, you know, dependable, I want to say dependable, reliable healthcare system, quality education system, and all that stuff, right? But the question is, how many Nigerians have experienced that before? That they can then understand what they are missing. Do you get what I'm trying to get at, right? Like somebody like me now, until I came to the UK, I have never experienced 24 hours electricity for a whole year. I don't think I experienced 24 hours electricity for 48 hours before. Maybe I've had 24 hours. When I was growing up, maybe I've had 24 hours, right? Uninterrupted though. Maybe 48 hours, but no. once you have the light for 24 hours, you begin to feel like almost something is wrong. Oh. They've not taken this light since morning. Oh. We've had electricity since last night. They don't take more. You begin to fear that maybe something is wrong. Why are they not taking the light? Sorry, Baba, you get light. He said, now we still get light. Mommy Nkechi, sorry, ma, you get light. They say, yes, so, brother, we still get light, so. Say, well, I said, this is not normal. That is how I grew up, so pardon me. Until I came to this country now. That was why when I first came to this country, right, I used to iron my clothes. Do you understand? Like, that's to tell you how Nigeria messed up with my psyche. And I bet a lot of people probably experience same too. Yeah? Where you begin to feel like they could take the light anytime. Then you have to, I mean, you know, I'll just iron two, three clothes, you know, just in case if they take, let's say, I like what they worry you, just in case if they take light. What do you mean? Then you have to come back and snap out from it as, oh, yeah, that's true. But psychologically, your mind is still telling you that you are smarter than these people because you are always made to be ready. You have to be ready. Like Boy Scouts, always be at alert. Here you get Nigeria. So when we tell Nigerians to fight for good governance, are we being sincere? Because what are they going to compare it with? That is why Nigerians always compare that somebody, when he was there, he gave some of the people from his village employment in the government, you know, in the civil service. Or when he was there, he came here. That was when they did this our road. Because he was given appointment as commissioner. That was when they did this road for us. We enjoyed that. That was that we enjoyed last. They brought us new transformer because he is a special advisor to the president of the country. Now he's just donated 2.5 million naira transformer for the community who have not had electricity for the past like 15 years. So they will say, he did well for us. So where do you think Nigerians should have example from? And that is why we are now asking those of you who have been outside Nigeria, who have experienced, not on holiday, not people who travel, go somewhere. You lived there, you lived in that system. It is sad that people like that are still supporting those criminals in Nigeria. It breaks hearts. It's sad. Because you have seen it. You've seen that system actually works. And all the working system are not done by spirits. They're done by human beings. You know them, you can call them and all that stuff, right? But in Nigeria, you are defending criminals who put people in the dark. The people in Nigeria, majority of them have never experienced anything that some of you are asking them to fight for. That's why it seems like they don't even have the spirit to fight for it. And those who have the spirit, they don't have the number. Yeah? So there's so many things that, I could call an ambulance and the ambulance will come and pick me. Wow, ambulance. I could call a doctor, an appointment, and say, hello, your date of birth, please. January this 1999. Okay. So what can we do for you today? See, I've been having this back pain and all that. And I don't know, even my breathing is like, it's not going well. I think I need to see doctor. Is 11:15 a.m. okay for you? Say, yeah, I'll take it, 11:15. And then you go there, you walk straight into a clinic and you sit there with others. Then Mr. Badero, that's what they call me, Mr. Badero. I'm like, yeah. Dr. Mimo would like to see you now. Say, yeah, okay. Yeah, and after you, say, yeah, please. A meeting is your honorable, a system that work. That I don't have to do big man or big woman. I pay my tax. They take that from me. I have to enjoy these things. I have to. It is mine. Doesn't matter how anybody feels about it, right? It is my right because I pay for them. When in Nigeria you pay for them, it no be your right. They go tell you, say, which right? Who tell you say you get that right? Benny, how much you they pay? Papa, somebody go to tell somebody and say, how much tax are you paying? You pay tax like that, go tell me. I've been short of job, everybody pay, they pay tax, they talk. This is where they pay 1,000 naira every month. Even if person they pay 100 naira tax, there is a responsibility from the person who collects the tax. So when we want Nigerians to fight and this and that, sometimes I want us to always remember that Majority of them don't know what they want to fight for, because what you think they should be fighting for, they don't understand it. Like, you mean they know they take light? You know, lie. Have you seen people who sit with you as, oh, no, lie, Joe, I don't believe you. They don't believe you that there is a place where you could call the police and they will come to your door. You could call an ambulance and they will come and get you. You could book you to see a doctor, a specialist, anything at all without paying a dime. Well, maybe because I live in the UK. Maybe that's not everywhere. But I'm just saying, systems that work. You know, so those of you who live abroad, loving Nigeria from abroad, telling people that Nigeria will be okay, and you know it won't be okay, right? So I don't know how you kind of manage to do that. Now, my time is almost up, so I'm going to tell you something so that I can possibly take calls, right? So last night, I tend to have sent unintentional sort of alerts kind of yesterday when I said they want to take my studio. Well, no one is taking my studio, okay? And here is why I think I should share with you. You see, when I started Mayegun's Diary Political, about 10, 11 years ago, 12 actually, years ago, right? I started this out of my, I've said this before, right? I started it out of my complete disappointment that when I was coming to this country, there was so much like high expectation of things I kind of like put in my head until when I got here. And then I saw how everything was like ordinary, but you know, done in an extraordinary way. So the roads, this and that I've just mentioned, right? So I became more kind of like unhappy when I remember where I was coming from and how bad these guys treated us in that place and still treating people behind. So to me, right, it will be an opportunity for me to, I was younger, right? So it was an opportunity for me to possibly show people who can't come here that look, oh, no be in spirit, they build system, you're not human beings, oh. Like, you know. So I started Mayegun's Diary Political. And before I left Nigeria, I've always been very, very politically sort of like a sound. So it was easier for me to just turn around and be like, the entire system is rigged. So, meaning I was doing it out of maybe protest. So it didn't really, you know, start well, because a lot of people then were more or less like trolling me, because to them, or burning away till you go do for abroad be that. Instead of you to face your life, you know, this common thing. I already faced my life. Most of the things are, you know, I will be on my bicycle. I'll be showing everywhere and say, look at this one, look at that one, look at this. Can't we have this? Can't we have that? Why is it, you know what I mean? Anyway, I started using my own personal sort of like experience and intelligence to go further by analyzing why those things can be put in place in Nigeria. And then, you know, luckily, it got the attention of a lot of people who felt like, oh, this young man, you are so, you know, the rest is history today. However, I was doing all of this in my own house. I was comfortable doing it in my own house. Then it became bigger, bigger, bigger. At the point that I felt like, I don't think I can continue doing this in the house, you know, like, let's just put it somewhere and start it in a way that I could, maybe even build on it. And to God be the glory, or should I say, to the generosity of so many of you who have been with Mayegun since then, right? People came to give me the very much support I needed, at least the lift I needed then. Today, we have Mayegun's Diary Political, the Diaspora Radio here in Glasgow, in his own independent address. But there's something I was not told. I was actually going, you know, this, like by definition, I was going into a business without having any sort of like the experience. So the Templar told me, Mayegun, we wouldn't mind you do this full time because, like, people shall hype me. At the end of the day, I put thousands in place, put all this together. I love it. But like I said, there's something I was not told. So while I was putting this, before I got here, right, I had, I had my job with Sky, and it was around the time that I had to hire people to do this for me, like editing my this and that. So long story. Then I decided to possibly get it done by myself, meaning whatever is worth doing at all is worth doing where they say. That was what gave birth to the Diaspora Radio, Mayegun Theory Political. But like I said, I was so new, right? So the business itself got registered as, then came all the responsibility that comes with having a business. I'm sorry that I've got this shaky screen, but I'll fix that. Let's just put this front one on. So the first part is that I have to make sure that I file in my, income tax, this and that. My business, I say business, it's more or less like a charity. Survives based on whatever I earn from my streaming and your generosity. So what happened? When I was doing this in my house, like everything was in there, but now having to run a whole studio automatically added an extra £800 to my own outgoings. I didn't have any problem with that. I mean, at least but there's something. 2 years ago, when I had somebody who was still handling all my accounting and all that stuff for me. So they filed one of our, what have you, late. Now, I never had to bother because somebody had to undo that, appeal or no appeal. And when I got to this place, I have been bombarded with a lot of their letters. That's what I said yesterday. Now, I've got an excess of what I have to pay simply because I have a studio, something I never had to worry about before. That was why I said, if this is how to run or sustain business, like they say, that should be business, something profitable. Mine is not business. It's more or less like charity. I will pack everything, go back my household. You get what I mean? I wouldn't mind if they have to be billing me like this. Enough that now I am actually having to pay some fines, and I'm talking about over 3,000, £700 fines. Yeah, there is one. I'm like, nobody told me this is what business is. I can go back to my room where I can, hang on, let me cover this. So you've got, I don't know if the camera can see that, but there is one. Right. There is one. Let me see another one. Sorry, I can see if okay. Here is another one. What's in the apple go? Oh my, you must pay me business more. Let me studio more. I pack everything, go back into my house, and tidy up a room and set everything up again, and I can still do what I am doing. But I bet when I said they want to get back studio me here, some people felt like, what's in the apple? Why would that, So the bottom line is that even if I have to renegotiate their debt, right? It simply means my outgoing could be over £1,000. And you know what that means, right? I've got my own personal bills too that I have to run, right? So this is more or less like me having to have extra. So I was in between, But I think I devised a means of, okay, you know what? If I get the right help, I could possibly cut down what they want to bill me for, right? Cut it down, cut down my outgoing. And hopefully I can improve, the diaspora or what I've used income. But this is a case of, do you want to clear whatever it is that is before me or what have you, and then keep maintaining what I've been maintaining? So, or how about I just pack everything and go back to my house? That means I will be saving about £800 every month. That could do something for me. But that is that is like a giving up. You know what I mean? Like people say, no, you can't. Why would you do that? This was the reason why I mentioned that yesterday. And I am somebody who just would not want to run himself. Like I don't like living under the pressure that I believe I could just take off. Right? So this is why I seek for your support. Like, you know, I said yesterday that I don't know how I'm going to actually like put it, but hang on. I'll still say it, but I'll be the one to decide how it goes, right? So thank you. Now, I'll take a break. When I come back, I'll take calls. Yeah, we can have a wee chat on what we have discussed now, or maybe what we have discussed before now. You may have that shot, all right? But I'll be back in a minute or two. If you have to leave, please like the broadcast at least. Like it, hear it if you haven't done that already. And I will be back in a minute or two. That's right. So thank you very much, brethren. Sorry, I lost a caller there. So if you are that person, you can indeed try call back in, okay? So I have a few links here. And hang on, my caller, just 1 sec, okay? So I'm going to possibly give you an update if I manage to get anything tonight and how much it is, so that at least we can know when to say, let's stop, it's enough now, we're all right now, I'm okay now. So you get? So the links are in the comment, use it. Donation is totally voluntary. You don't have to. It's not a must, it is not a compulsory, please. All right? And if you give me anything, it is unconditional, so to say, right? So therefore, it is not forced. And please, here, my caller. Hello.
My good general.
Papa, how are you?
I'm good. This is the third time, or should I say second time in a row,
that
I'm the first caller.
You're able to get through, right?
And that's giving me the conviction that say, may I pledge to this platform 100%.
Oh, bless you. Now, you see,
I don't think this is a coincidence.
You see, one thing is that gradually you're going to get used to actually how to get in. Even when we are busy, you'll still be able to get through. Ask the likes of African Wala. They found their, they found their link at a point.
Fast fingers.
The fast fingers, exactly. The fastest one. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. How is your family? How's everybody?
We're all right, you know, surviving as usual.
As usual. Let me start on this your issue. If we can come together and support all these Agbadorians, people killing people party and co, then we can come together and support this temple.
Well,
because what you are doing, yes, what you are doing is by far better than what most of them are doing out there.
So,
I don't forget somebody like Buhari was selling cards and people were donating.
And now, as a poor man.
So I know I understand when you say you cannot ask or you feel somehow.
Because
but at the same
you
time,
know what Nigeria, you know what people will do now? They'll be like, "Oh, Benny, who sent you?
You are abroad, yes.
Or I've got choice, so and I'm not ashamed, right, to ask for help, and I'm also not ashamed, right, to pick my own stuff. I mean, they are all mobile, yeah, and I can put the rest of the stuff in the storage for the time being, and I will still be live. I will still be doing my stuff, and some of you probably won't even notice.
Yes, but let me call on Templars now. This is your platform. I don't want to call it a political platform. I see it more like an educational platform.
Wow.
Because a lot of us don't even know some of these things that you put out there. We only see it on my Egun's Diary Political. And some of us are even in the place where the thing is happening, you don't know it's happening.
Well.
So I'm going to urge Templars today. I know everybody has his own struggles, everybody has what they're dealing with. But, you know, a lot of us support things that we don't even understand. This is the thing that we tune in every day to listen to and try to understand what's going on and find ways to get out of the problem. We should support it 100% and keep it 100%. So I urge Templars, this studio must not go anywhere. However, there is a problem. I particularly, you know, the super stickers and all that. I don't know if it's a bank problem. I don't know if it's a YouTube problem.
Right.
The transactions never go through.
Well,
I've tried everything I can think of.
Yeah, it could be, you know, a location problem sometimes. Because sometimes if you're doing the super chat stuff, right, normally it shouldn't be an issue, but if there is, it could be location as well.
They usually say your account is not allowed to purchase. Right. Now, even using a foreign card or using a foreign platform, they still say the same thing.
Right.
This service is not available in your region. Like yes, in your region. You know. So I don't know if there's a platform which I wanted to even suggest. If there's a platform where you have issues, people can actually discuss, because like it or not everybody that is listening here is for you.
I know that one.
Yes. So if it's a platform where
I am always very much like a little bit
skeptical,
way back and skeptical. Trying to,
yes.
I am pretty much freer to seek help for others than to make myself the centerpiece of it. Is so, I mean, you have no idea how tough that is for me to actually do this.
Yeah, so
it's my platform. I could ask people for whatever.
Yeah, if there's a platform you can create. Yesterday you were talking about Telegram. The platform you can create where the real Templars can actually come forward and put whatever they can support in, whether it's ideas or information or funding.
I was supposed to have had a chance of hiring an extra hand, but if I hire extra hand as an assistant here, this is the UK, nothing comes for nothing. All right, so that's going to be like an extra on my outgoing again, and I am somebody that, like, you know what, I'm going to have to take my time, even though there is so much.
Which the platform, which the platform will now give, because some of us have spare time. You know, you are doing this full time,
and
you've taken it as you don't have to do it. You are doing it because you think there's a need for it. Yes. So some of us that, like the guy I was talking about software engineering yesterday, I happen to also be a software engineer. Now, if there's something we need to come out to support each other and create awareness, we can do it in our spare time.
That's right.
You know, nobody has to make it a full-time job. But the thing here is, don't hesitate to, you know, you have Templars that don't play with you.
I know that.
At this point, I'm thinking if you come out to contest for something, you will win.
Oh, now that's a stretch. That's one temptation that I think I have tried now to conquer. So don't please put it in my head. But
no, if you notice, I didn't say you should do it. I just said if.
That I could risk it. I mean, it's not going to be a flop.
Yes, because a lot of people will be sounding my ego, but they'll be holding a knife behind.
As it is. Baba.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you.
So please, that's the main thing.
I appreciate
Let me just say one thing on this Tinubu. Something has baffled me with this Tinubu.
Right.
Since I knew him. By the way, I grew up in Lagos. I was born in Lagos. I grew up in Lagos. I noticed all these people that Tinubu always talks about, all these so-called people that fall for democracy. Shehu Sani, Olisa Bakuba, Falana, all these people. For some funny reason, Tinubu always escapes detention.
Now.
But then all of them have been arrested. Generals have been arrested.
Hunting people now. Go on, Baba.
Yeah, generals have been arrested. Obasanjo, Shehu Yaradua, different, all of them. But then Tinubu seems to be Maradona that always escapes. You know, and it has baffled me all this while to think, even his own boss, MKO, died in detention. So what is special that Tinubu knows that all of them could not figure out? You know, Shehu Sani said something on stage one day. He said when Absalam called them to talk about a transition and so on and so forth, they didn't want to go. They were hesitant. A lot of them said no. Him, Olisa Bakuba, what's the other guy's name? All these guys. Femi Falana and Co. He said later, Tinubu came and convinced them that, you know what, let's listen to this man and hear what he wants to offer.
That's right.
When they gave him the audience and he said, okay, I want to do transition to democracy and so on and so forth, Shehu Sani wanted to contest for Kaduna State Governor. Falana wanted Ekiti. Gani Fahmi wanted to become president. Somebody wanted to do Edo State and so on. Meanwhile, there were politicians already at Absalam's door begging for attention. Now, inside all of them, it was only Tinubu that was successful. He said it very loosely on stage, as if, you know.
I was the one who later came back and was successful about.
Yeah, Tinubu knew something special that they didn't know. But then I started thinking to myself, don't you guys see the error in what you guys did? How come
they said he's a CIA agent and it's been like that for a while. Now, some of those things that you know they didn't come.
MKO is a friend of the West.
Yeah, they didn't come like a coincidence or what have you. They are pretty much like all plotted. So you know, the peculiar part of him not being arrested, even though Abiola, you know, Abiola himself also managed to leave Nigeria too.
Yeah, but he was detained. He was detained. Obasanjo was detained at some point. All these guys are all CIA assays.
I know.
But Tinubu has one special.
MKO Abiola returned again.
Yes. You know, Dele Momodu, all these guys. But Tinubu somehow just had one special thing that when they're out for them, he knows all the routes, he's out. Showore was there as 20 or 21. He was being battered in detention. But Tinubu always just found a way to get out at the right time.
I know.
Which, that begs the question.
Was that because he was smart enough, or it was because he wasn't walking alone? And those,
I really don't understand. But anyway, and then today you have Sule Lamido saying that he also fought.
I know.
And he was detained. and all that rubbish. Anyway, my Baba,
everybody
please.
fought for Nigeria, and when they had the chance,
Everybody
right, they looted Nigeria. Sule Lamido became governor in Jigawa. Today, himself and his son, they are standing trial for corruption. His own son.
They have been standing this trial, I think they are in the second decade.
Since he left office, it must be over 15 years now.
So they are all just bunch of. So now, Templars, rogues, we listen to rogues, support rogues.
Yep.
And then we are dealing with our own general here, and he's going through stuff.
Well.
You know, so I urge Templars, please, let's stand. And now you could do us this favor and create this platform so that some of us that cannot get across to.
I did that a while back. I've got the Telegram on, but the Telegram is, I was advised not to make it interactive one, so that people won't begin to spam it and all that, right? So
you can just be bombarded, because of this whole privacy.
I'll copy the link and put it up here now. Maybe
So, but there are other platforms out there that we can be utilized.
Okay.
So that I mean, like now you always talk about notification on YouTube. I have your multiple YouTube accounts. I never receive your notification.
No.
Because I did that to know, okay, was it one platform or is it that this channel has the issue? Different emails, different bodies, they don't ever come.
Yeah, it is YouTube, right? Now let me tell you something.
YouTube,
yeah. So they do what they call this. They do that around this time of the year. Okay, so they push back some of the smaller accounts for some reason, and most of you who are like the subscribers, you won't get notification, and even if you manage to get the notification, if you click the link, the notification, it may tell you that this video doesn't exist anymore, or this video has been.
Yeah, you have to come in and search,
and you have to
start watching.
Search.
Yes,
they did that on
purpose. If not, it doesn't work.
Or
well,
but eventually, you know something about them, right? By the time we get to July, August, somehow they will just let it out again, and surprisingly, everything will begin to look like normal, fine. I don't know why they did that. I don't know. They do that all the time.
Let me say one. Some of these people you bash, they are very well connected. So there's what they call shadow banning.
As well.
I mean,
I've been suffering that.
You'll be one of the few in Nigeria from Nigeria.
I know.
Yes, but they do it for a lot of channels on YouTube. I know. So they are very well connected. Yesterday you were talking about a spy software. There's a software called Pegasus. It was created by Israel.
I've heard it before.
So a retired IDF soldier that has his own private shop now that does a lot of this stuff. Part of the people he mentioned that is major patronizers were Nigerian politicians. So that your plan that you were talking about yesterday, I had an idea. I could tell what you meant.
Yeah.
But then, they are already there. So this notion too that people always think, these guys are not prepared. They don't know what they are doing. They are dumb.
They do know what they are doing. I mean,
they are
one
very
thing I said.
Prepared.
You see, when people shouldn't underrate them, because we are still talking about guys who are in charge of a country. So don't think you're just one group of guys who are just like in a room. And no. You have no idea what
they don't have certificate, they don't have
resources that opportunity has given to them.
They are always 10 steps ahead. They're always 10 steps ahead. You can see the mistake they did with Peter Obi. Probably because it was part of that establishment too, they thought it's all our usual talk. They didn't know that obedience could have done what they did. But now, if you think that they're going to let it happen, they must have something coming for them, really.
Thank you. Let me take another one.
So, Michael, please, again, let me say it lastly. Don't hesitate, please.
To ask. Well, I'm asking now. Let's hope it works well. And if it doesn't as well, you know what I mean? Sometimes I tell people that even though they say, please don't give up, sometimes you need to give up so that you can replan. You get what I mean now?
And I think you should also get professional advice, because your kind of platform is not supposed to be, drawing a lot of taxes like that.
No, they were fines. They were not taxes. They were fines.
Okay.
The fines that I probably just overlook it.
Yeah, because you know these people can be very cheeky as well.
Yes, they can.
So
the option,
so
the option
before,
is that the option is that you still have to kind of start giving them this, and I am like, if I'm going to sign up for that and be like, okay, I will give you this. To me, it's not something that is coming from nowhere. It's going to be coming from somewhere. So if I already budget I say I'm spending this, and then there's going to be an extra 100 or extra 200. That's coming
and then the platform is not generating anything.
Exactly. So then you begin to feel like, do I want to keep it that way? Or could I just like slow it down and save myself? And that seems appealing. But at the same time, we're already public. Sure, you get.
Yeah.
People won't even see it that way. We just begin to, whatever. We'll see. Thank you.
To get professional advice and sleep on it.
We will.
And we're here for you.
I appreciate it. So I have another call on the line. Sorry guys, if this seems like an extended convo and all that, okay? So hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you, Baba?
I'm fine. Long time.
Is that Ken?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Kenneth.
Yeah.
How are you doing today, sir? I know it's been a long time.
I know, right? I'm fine.
Just always at the other end there, watching others.
My dear, I watch your program, the one I could watch live, and the one I could watch.
Watch your replay.
And I was like, okay. my good need to be an invincible man to be in Nigeria, and then
I feel like it was just next in the room with you.
I'm telling you, yeah, I know.
Man.
So anyway, let me quickly on this of the June 12th annulment of that election. I don't know how you got that information, but that's absolutely correct. That was spot on.
I mean, all these people are all out there, all this way, like people have made up their own different stories, but there are credible ones that you could easily and they are from books, interviews, videos, documentaries. All these things are out there.
Yes, and I'm going to address you from the intel part of it,
please,
of everything that happened. You see, on that fateful day, that fateful year, when that election was going on, at about maybe sometime around 2 or 3 p.m. in the afternoon, when they were trying to wind down on the closure of the election.
Yep.
The information already reaching Babangida and Abacha, all of them. At that time, don't forget, I was very, very young, very small in the service. I was very, very. I was like more or less like someone who was doing IT. I was at internship before I was fully employed. So at that time, when I was in the internship, the report was that this guy was going to overwhelm. What was that? I've forgotten that. He was going to overwhelm it because the result coming in clearly showed Abiola was overwhelming. It was. I mean, it was. The result was it was a
like a tsunami of a vote that there's no way they were going to possibly end that conversation without trouble, and that's what ended.
Yes. So at that time, when that was going on, this same Tinubu and those career those other career criminals were the same people from Yoruba land, though. The same people that were going to Babangida and the other top military officers.
They thought he was going to possibly pick them, because remember, it wasn't the MKO Abiola Won that was the first one. They've already banned some people for life from politics before they finally say, okay, let's do another one. That's of MKO Abiola. Now that one can't reach election time. So some of them were positioning themselves that, okay, if Babangida and all that, maybe you can choose them. So now Abacha come later. It was Abacha that came later and just disrupted the whole plan. And they just went for Abacha like Abacha was this monster. And Abacha went for them too. Started picking them and killing them. But go on.
Yeah, and you know, Abacha, why Abacha was a little bit overboard was that Abacha already had what he needed to indict Tinubu and the rest of them. But he wasn't doing that. His own objective was that they were a problem for him. So let me eliminate them. Instead of him handing Tinubu and the rest of the career groups and criminals to the proper government of the country where they have looted, including Bajabi and Mila, all of them that were all career criminals and crooks from where they came from. He didn't do that. Target was just to eliminate them, so that once he eliminates his problem is gone, so that he can now rule the way he wanted. And don't forget, Abacha had his own agenda too, because his agenda was not just because he was a military leader. He wanted to switch to civilian leader too. Don't forget
when they said they sold the idea that since Babangida has betrayed you, MKO. What happened is I need your support. I can get rid of this guy, Shonekon, all right? Secure the military, blah, 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 for you. And then I return you back to power. So it was like 3 months later, they realized that all these steps where this guy they take, this one not go leave. MKO Abiola congratulated Abacha that he overthrew Shonekon. I don't know if people remember that. MKO Abiola led the delegation to go and pay solidarity visit to Abacha, which later boomerang anyway. But go on, Ken.
So when you talk about in your presentation, when you talk about that Nigerians are not redeeming, this is just a tip of the iceberg of so many things that your language, your state quote, and I quote, Nigerians are not redeeming. Nigerians are their own biggest problem. And until we eliminate, until we know that all this what do you call it? I forgot to say all these people. All these people that romance all these their leaders, their oppressors.
The enablers.
The enablers.
The
yes. Until when these people are eliminated, forget it.
Oh, Ken, that must be network or somebody already called your phone to cut me off on hold. So I have another caller on the line. Let's see. If I have Ken back, great. And then if not, Ken will have to call back, okay? Sorry about that. So now my time is almost rounding up. So I want to say thank you. Mind you, I've gotten 2 donations, put it that way, already. I got the first one, which is 16 pounds. And I got another one, which is on PayPal of 36 pounds. That's grand. So somehow, I think I have actually made 40 pounds in the last maybe 10 minutes. 40 pounds. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, did I lose you? Sorry about that. So I had a caller there, and I think they had to drop when they couldn't hear from me. So yeah, the line is still open, and if it is probably not that busy, maybe we can call it a night. Yeah. I know. So this is why I usually wrap it up. Once I finish my presentations, right? I just feel like, you know what? I'll just go to bed. And it's just not motivating, I would say. Sorry about that. Here is a caller on the line. Hey, my lady. How are you?
How are you? I'm fine. How are you?
Well, I'm fine. Very well. Thanks for asking. It's been a while.
I know. I mean, I always watch your show. I'm always watching your broadcast.
Thank you.
But I'm choosing to be quiet these days.
I mean, it can be. You see, someone called me today, and they said they observed that I just tend to come here, do my thing, and just want to leave. It's like fulfilling your duty. Like, okay, I'll just do my thing and leave. I was like, I'm human too. There are times that sometimes you just sit down and be like, is this whole thing worth it at all? You know what I mean?
Oh.
Then another time you just be like, I don't even feel motivated enough. It's like, then whenever I remember where it all started from and why this has to be done, I just feel like, you know what, I'll just go. Then it became something like, I'm just coming to fulfill my own kind of like duty. Just go.
Yeah.
But that's not how we do it. It's deeper than that. You get, so if the viewer says, well, I've just been watching from the background, I've not really felt calling, just know I feel sad too sometimes.
I've always said to you that I don't know how you do what you do, and I know that, and you've always said to me that, because of the enormity of the situation of what we're facing, this is why you do what you do, right? And I can actually understand that it can be tiring reporting the same thing over and over again without an end in sight to the situation.
Just see it as if to say they're just listening to the tale by the moonlight. They wait for it tomorrow again. You don't see their reactions. It seems like it is hopeless. As much as you want to try to see the plus side in it all, right? That it is not all blank. But every now and then that gray line it's becoming blurry and blurrier and blurrier. It can be frustrating, exhausting.
My girl, please keep doing what you're doing. The fact is that we tune in. A lot of us still tune in and we watch and we listen. Sometimes I engage on the platform and everything, and I know that it feels
coming back though. But yeah, go on.
It feels a bit daunting, what is in front of us, at the end of the day. So, we're going to support you. But I think African Wahala actually made a comment here. He talked about with regards to the situation with your studio.
Right.
And I'm just asking because I don't know what your situation is.
Right.
If it's something that can be done in a different location, maybe closer to home, so that it takes, you can claw back all of this money. We're happy to give. So that the money that you're getting directly, instead of it going to offset the studio, it goes to the improvement of what it is that you're doing. And I think I've noticed lately that you started doing shorts in Yoruba, which I think is amazing because that's going to even reach more people, especially those maybe who are not.
There's a lot that could be done. But, my frustration in this place is quite enormous. But, I am somebody who still have to do what he has to do, right? So the idea behind the studio means I was doing this as a one-man kind of like battalion, but it's not a one-man thing. You get what I mean? So if I want to achieve what I have in mind, then I'm always going to have to have people around. And I realized that to do that, it requires resources that I don't think I do have now to spare. So because of that, I just stick to what I believe is kind of like, important, still has to be done, right? But when it gets to a stage when it is it's getting more and more, that's why I was like, people didn't tell me this is how they do business. So I can walk into my studio tomorrow morning. There's a letter. I pick it up and I'm like, which one is this again now? What, I'm like, they didn't tell me this. So they told me that if I lasted a year, then I will last 10. So I've lasted more than a year, right? So I don't have problem doing what I do, but I've just gotten to that place where, that point where you feel like I could save money.
You need to have,
I could save money. How that I'm going, right? If it's just going to keep getting higher and higher.
Yeah.
And I could just so it's a thought that was prompted by, events. But yeah, I'm gonna weigh my options.
I'm definitely going to contribute because again, I like what you're doing. I love the platform and I love the engagement, on the platform as well. That's really why I was calling. With regards to Tinubu, was it Babangida boy? I mean, we can go back in time and tell this is not news at the end of the day. Anyone who has been following your program, right? And all the news that you've been I've been highlighting with regards to Tinubu and all of that will know, and you think critically, you will know that Tinubu's injection into the political scene wasn't by accident.
No.
It was intentional, and it was done by that three-letter company that we cannot mention.
You see? The one that we always want to slowly say. You're right.
Exactly. Right. So
because
it was by design, it was intentional.
Sorry to cut you.
Yeah.
You know, something is that if people who claim to fight for democracy are now in charge of a country and people are facing autocracy, like autocratic rule, a tyranny, that people have no rights, they can't speak. That means that these guys were never democratic or progressives. They just had to, put up that tag because it got them to where they are today anyway. Abi?
Absolutely. It's part of their
claim to be. Never.
They were never who they claimed to be. It was part of their, their backstory in order to get our attention, in order to get, to galvanize a lot of people around them and put them in that situation and in that position, which has happened with regards to Tinubu. So now this Tinubu that we have here is a Tinubu that has been designed and intended for Nigeria. This was always who he was. And exactly, and what he was meant to do was foment the current chaos that we have. We're experiencing in Nigeria. Everything happening with the Fulani, terrorists and everything is not coincidental. No. It's by design, right? Even the tanking of the economy, that is by design as well. Even the tribal tensions that we're having, Yoruba against Igbo, Igbo against Yoruba, and all of that business. All of that is intentional. Yes. And there's a reason why. Because as long as we keep at each other's necks, right, we will never be able to come together to actually fight the people who are really behind, the subjugation of the continent at the end of the day. And as long as we're doing whatever it is that we're doing, right, they win and they will continue to win. For the likes of Tinubu, I mean, and the other day, right, I wrote that democracy is a weapon that has been fashioned against us, and I believe it every single day. You talk about the Fulani people who are killing people, and then people are still waiting for the same government who has allowed that chaos to come and help you. Democracy has weakened people who would have been warriors before are now wimps. You're all waiting for government to do things that you should be able to do by yourself. People are telling us that, okay, the Fulani terrorists are everywhere. We are surrounded. They're in our bushes. They're in our forests. They're this and that. But do they know those forests better than you? Do they know the ins and outs of that forest better than the people who live in that place, people who are indigenous to that place? Are you telling me that you are waiting for the government to tell you what to do? And this is democracy. Right, where people their inalienable rights to defend themselves have been taken from them, and you are waiting for a government who has told you time and time again that they are not interested in helping you, right? By not only by their words, by their actions. It took what's his name, Tinubu, how many days in order to come to Benue State, and that was let me check my schedule. So first of all,
can go there.
We can see whether we will go there, and all of that. And you're waiting for the same government to do what, is supposed to be done. It's high time, and people are saying, stop waiting for the government. Pick up arms and destroy those people. Medicine after death, as far as I'm concerned.
At least
when
if you
want
to do negotiation, should be both sides will first of all at least equalize. So you cannot do negotiation with people holding guns. You can't negotiate from the position of weakness. You are the indigenous people. So that mentality.
This is your land.
Yeah.
We need to change that mentality. We need to stop waiting for the government to do the things that we have been our God-given right to defend ourselves.
Yep.
This is not the government. This is democracy. Should not take that away from you. You should be able to do that.
No. Thank
anyway, I start calling you Tinubu.
Yeah. I mean, don't call me Tinubu. You see, two kids were abusing themselves, right? What was like, you are this, you are that, you are this, your papa na kiniko. So another one just said, you Tinubu, or more. The reaction of that young boy was like so aggressive. Like, in your life, ever, you can call me anything. Don't ever call me Tinubu. I was like, is it that bad?
Yes, but it is that bad because the guy is a bloody criminal.
I know.
You know, and people should stop waiting for him to do anything because he hasn't been put there to do anything. He has been put there to destroy the country, and he's doing it perfectly.
Exactly what they want him to. Charm. Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay. You have a
Thank you, my ego.
Wonderful week. Okay. So let's have Prince Adebayo. Oh, did I still have you? So I just lost him. Anyway, if you probably get back. Last night we almost had you, but somehow we couldn't. So please, I don't know. I think I just probably don't even have that flair anymore. So Prince Adebayo.
It has been happening. It's been a while.
It's been
a while.
The Prince.
But good to know that you gave us. I'm fine. It's good that you gave us the opportunity to call in today.
I know. It's just, I mean, I don't know how it feels, right? But that I think there's this special vibe that comes with where all of us are struggling to get through. Yeah, you know that feeling, right?
Yeah.
But when we are not that many, it's good as well. But it's just that there's no thrill there. But again,
No, Baba, we are there. We are here for you. We are here for you. Baba, you know, I wanted to suggest something because you were talking about this studio team.
Right.
We are here to support. But I also wanted to give a suggestion. What if you create a marketing team? Because My Good Diary is not a small. You are bigger than you are like, we are glued to you.
No, Baba.
You understand? We are glued to you.
I need more committed fans. That was the time I've got this merchandise, right? So the merchandise means that people could buy my art, DRI, or My Egun's Diary and all that. But what happened then was that it was more or less like people fancied it. Oh, My Egun, that's a very good idea. I had to close it down. You know, what's the point? When you only had just maybe one person or maybe two person and others. So no, people tell you, right? People will say, oh, I love what you're doing. You're doing a great job and all that. But it actually cost me a lot to run these things. You get that now? There are so many streaming softwares that I'm paying for just to appear and put things together the way we are having and all that. That's my business. So that was why I was like, I could still do them. I don't want to be paying for studio, you know. But the idea of the studio came from having a space like this where we can do it. That was the idea. But right now, and I'm like,
that's what I'm telling. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. If we have, even no matter where you run the
people will
show,
still hear me.
But if you have,
it will still be
if you have, because you have one, you have the views. Two, you have the engagement.
That's right.
You understand? So with that is enough to get advertisements. Now you need a team that will go get this advert. There are so many enterprise, so many businesses that want eyes to see what they are doing.
That's right.
You just need committed marketers to go to these businesses and say, look, we have this, we have so views, we have so engagement, we could do this for you. Yes. So you don't need to be doing it. These people will do it and they will get their own commission from it. If we have like 10, 20 in every, then you can be doing two, even, you don't even need to be doing all of them yourself. We can have somebody run afternoon show, you just do. At some point, you'll be running maybe once in a week.
I mean, I love you for that, okay? But you see, there is still something that is out there. I love your passion, and I know I have a handful of us that were like you, that are like you. I won't take that away, and they've been here for years. So here is an issue. There are so many ways that My Ego can be supported, or My Ego can support himself as well, right? There's so many ways. Most of them includes, like you said, marketing team or sign up with this or that, whatever. Right? Now, putting all of these things together from my own findings required requires extra sort of a funding. They are not as great as they sound, especially if you are looking for a certain way that you want a result. So I've had a few offers and all that. Then again, I know my audience. My audience are those who don't want any distraction. They don't want you to talk about, hey guys, look at this. It works for so and so. Forgetting the fact that I've got bills to pay to run this place so I could still be appearing. My fans are not the type who wanted that. You are listening to me, all of you are watching me right now. Once I begin to say, well, Mayegun, you actually told me, people told me here that Mayegun don't take adverts. When you need any help, just ask us.
Okay.
Again, no. Listen now. They are just part of how people can express what they think they are. Or most of those things are not really, practice. So on my own side, I'm doing everything to be in the middle enough that here you get. It won't suddenly turn to Mayegun. When we started watching you, it was not about like say everything is about money now, but it's not about money like that. But it takes money to run these things. Like I spend money to be here. You understand? So it cost me over £11,000 a year to run my office.
Yeah,
that's an extra £11,000 that I could use elsewhere, right? And I'll still be like Mayegun. Do you get that now?
Mayegun, I understand what you're saying, but people like you always have imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is that thing that you don't want to make money out of what you are spending money on.
I don't want to.
But this is a studio
you are dealing with. We all need money, right? People without
it is money that will run this thing, because sometimes
and I've got
you just need to pay those bills. You got a life, you got a life. So for us to enjoy you, we must make sure that the thing
lately, let me be honest with you. Lately, I have become more demotivated. I won't lie to you. Most of the time, you don't see me on.
You see?
They are like last minute.
Yeah.
Last minute, I'll just be like, what a job, everything is just just going there.
You see? No.
Like, no, not going again tonight.
No,
and I've not really felt like
you must run it like a business.
I've been feeling like that lately.
You must run.
I've been feeling like that. So I'm gonna praise. That's also the reason why I felt like I could shut the whole thing down and I'll still be Mayegun, right?
No,
and I could save myself like £1,000 every month. That's a lot of money. If I don't give it to anybody, it will be in my pocket. So that's I'm becoming so demotivated. Like, what?
No,
I don't think that's a good thing. It's not good.
But Baba, I know how you feel. There's a lot of things fighting you, apart from the fact that YouTube is not giving people notifications and all those. Yes, because I know that the number of people watching you were light and light. We are glued, and we are more than 1 million. But sometimes if I see the views, I'm like, what is happening? One call because I can't believe it. We are more than that number. We are more than that number.
I'll tell you another one because we are talking about it, okay? And just for those who are listening to us, all right? Me and this person, we are on different side of the world. So technology that is actually making us respond to you is mixing them. So if this sounds like we are talking over ourselves, right? Just know that it is practically not what is going on, okay? So, however, we try to make it easier for people to listen to. I saw somebody there that said, let this one land, that one land. No, it is this whole mixing of a thing. And, anyway, Prince Adebayo, I'm in the middle of kind of like, making a decision. And I think I am somebody who don't really like to be in a very, very tight, overwhelming position. Do you understand? So I'm somebody who can cut down, cut your losses and all that, and then move on. So asking for help, right? Because I'm not going to be asking for help every month, all right? So asking for help is just my own way of letting people know that if you share my video, if you like it, you are contributing greatly. Because like you said, how could, when I finish a broadcast, right, you may have like 2,000, 3,000 people with us on Facebook, I'm sorry, on YouTube. And then you realize that, after 1 hour, 1 hour after the broadcast, the video will be like 9,000 views.
2
hours after broadcast, 18,000 views. 3 hours after the broadcast, 21,000 views on YouTube. There's surprisingly 24 hours after the broadcast, 22,000 views. And you'd be like, how could, how could the first 3 hours was like all going fine. Then after that, I just stopped. 6 weeks after 6 months after the video, 22,500 views. That is not normal. With somebody who has over 100,000 there. So I know.
Yeah.
So
organic members, organic subscription.
I know.
People are winning us. And some people are not subscribed, but they are watching. About these people just they whine us. But I just continue, don't give up.
The good thing about this is that I'm happy that some of us who are watching, everybody who is watching right now, right, can understand that I'm actually doing a lot to appear on your screen than what you know, or than what I let out. And that's how it should be. It should be so, like, I've made it so easy. I've made it so that people will ask me, how do you do it? How do you, like, go one after the other? Like, I've been doing it for years. Then I know my audience. So if the quality is not that great, people won't sit and waste their time. So, but if I come out and seek for, I need help, it is because it is my last resort, right? Because anything after that, right, it will just be like, I'm going to be cutting my, So yeah, if I'm lucky enough to, because we can talk from now till tomorrow, and I wake up tomorrow and I'll say, well, I've only got just 60 pounds. Like Mayegun, 60 pounds donate. I can't even announce it sometimes, right? The one I tried to put together so that I could put some few things in place, get some people on board, and put all this behind, right? I wanted to raise 10,000 on my GoFundMe. I only got 550 pounds. I had to stop it. I actually stopped talking about it. So people can sit there and tell me how much they love me, how much this and that, which I appreciate. All right. Or maybe they should also have it at the back of their mind that appearing on your screen every now and then, it wasn't I can still appear different way though. Prince.
I will throw suggestions to you on your WhatsApp. I will send you text. I'll send you message so that we'll talk more.
No, Allah.
Baba, I just to mention this thing that Champ said about the corrupt about how to fight these corrupt people and remove them.
Right.
But it's because it is only if everybody,
like, people must want it now. Shebi, you know that we said that on this platform.
People must want it.
See, some of the things we talk about will never happen if the people don't want it.
It will never happen. Yes. And it appears that you said it, the people who want it badly, they are few. The people who can act, they are few. But the people who can just be wishing, there are many. But they have divergent. But we need to,
they're like, out. Should we do it or should we not? Is it going to work or is it not going to work?
And, and don't forget that Nigerians have never enjoyed Nigeria. The people that enjoyed that the Tinubu set and those who enjoy freedom, Nigerians have never enjoyed Nigeria, so they don't know what they are fighting for actually, because they have never enjoyed anything.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what would they compare to? Would they say, we used to
what
have
would they compare to? Yes.
But these politicians take our electricity. Let's fight for it.
Exactly.
Or we used to have so that they've never
free education or water. They have not had anything. So what do they fight? What are they fighting for? If it is here now, we can say, okay, we used to have electricity. Where is the electricity? Like in South Africa, they can say they used to have electricity. Now they are sharing.
You get?
But in Nigeria, when did we have electricity?
Fight for and something to motivate them for anger and say we want different thing, we want to change. But Nigerians don't have any comparison.
See what they are. The only thing they can compare. The only thing they can compare is that Fulani herdsmen used to carry sticks. Now they are carrying guns. Look at what they are comparing.
Which is
is cow supposed to be walking in the streets? Is cow supposed to be walking in the streets in a normal same country? Should we be seeing cow dunk on the road? There's road for horses and all those kind of animals. It's not every. So we don't know. And the worst part is that Nigeria is being steered by foreign entities. That's why it appears that every president that comes in cannot secure you.
No.
Because they tell them you can steal as much as you can, but leave this area. We are doing it. Nigeria is a CIA project now. Today. So for us to take that country, everybody must come out, gather, come out and say, we are not going anywhere, we don't want again.
Yeah, like
if we stay like that for the next, we are done. This is it. Shut down everything, go and occupy Aso Rock everywhere. Because all these military, they don't know what they are doing. They are just taking their own share. By the time everybody fill up every space, they will give up.
We shall see.
They will give up.
Prince Adobari,
Baba,
thank you.
I will send you messages.
I saw your report last night in trying to get through, but
yes,
it's a different.
Yes. No, but it's good. It's good. It's good. People talk.
Thank you. So I'm going to round it up there now and then call it a night. So thank you everyone for your time, and then for the support as well. I'll see you again when I see you. Okay. I hope I see you soon. Well, thank you. As you are leaving the broadcast as well, remember, like the broadcast, share it. Still try. Maybe you should check your notification as well. If you are on YouTube, check it and see if something is, if your notification is all right, if everything is all right, okay? Then I will see you again. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Bó bá ṣe é àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun dayari political. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹ́gọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.